Everybody, this is Jordan Sather checking in from Santa Monica Beach with the one and only certified health nut Troy Casey. If you guys don't know who Troy Casey is, that's his brand, Certified Health Nut, and I came across his work a couple of years ago, I think on Facebook. No, it was Elliot Hulse videos. So, fitness YouTuber Elliot Hulse, he was wearing a Certified Health Nut shirt in one of his videos, and then somehow I came across him on Facebook, found him on Instagram, and I friended him on Facebook. I was following you for a little while, and I think you just kind of noticed the post that I'd be making one day, and you messaged me, and I was honored. Definitely honored that he messaged me, and we got in touch, and we've been talking for probably a year and a half now. I've had him on my
game recognizes game.
game, and he's awesome. He's definitely into holistic health, true holistic health, and the quantum leap in human consciousness. What do you call it? I think that's what you call it. The quantum leap.
That basically, yeah. I mean, my channel is all about health and consciousness. People want to peg me into, I'm a fitness guy or I'm a nutrition guy, but ultimately it's conscious. It's also consciousness. We're healthy to the degree we're conscious, and we're conscious to the degree we're healthy. And so, how many times have I gone to these protests, or have I gone to these expos, and people are still eating Cheetos, and they're drinking aspartame, and they're drinking all sorts of glyphosate-ridden, GMO, riddled, foods and non-foods ultimately. And so, ultimately, if we're going to wake up, if we're going to go to the next level in consciousness, we've got to get rid of the man's junk. You can't be shoving the man's junk in your face and then complaining about the man.
Right? You vote with your lifestyle. You vote with your choices. I mean, if you're drinking a Diet Coke at these expos, where's that money going? It's going right to Coca-Cola. It's going right to Monsanto. So these people want a better world, but their choices are literally feeding the paradigm that we're trying to get rid of. So I don't understand that. But I mean, I just love your stuff, man. I love the way that you push health with no regard, but you're so straight up. You like to trigger people in the best way possible, and that's kind of what I try to do on this channel here. So, I mean, how did you get to where you are? How did you get to this point?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I did a lot of face planting, making a lot of mistakes, and having my own shortcomings. And so, I grew up, I had a different lifestyle than most. My parents were hippies. I went out to the Summer of Love for 1967 in Haight-Ashbury, San Francisco. So my parents thought different, therefore, I kind of thought different. I started hitchhiking when I was 12. I've been on my own since I was 14. I got incarcerated as a youth. I got kicked out of every school that I ever went to, which is just, my objection to authority. And so, and then, I straightened up my life there for a while and put myself through college. And then I started modeling, and then some of my arrested development, if you will. I mean, I started smoking pot when I was 12. I started drinking, and so I think some of the emotional arrested development started to surface in my 20s, and through anxiety and other things, I really just quelled it with alcohol. And started drinking a lot of alcohol. And I was in an industry. I was in the fashion industry that was, goes hand in hand with partying, drugs, alcohol, nightclubs. And so I got pretty deep into my own dysfunction, trying to hide my own, emotional trauma that I was dealing with. I think we all have some form of, trauma or emotions that need to be processed. And so I went through that and really got into drugs and alcohol. And it was my friends that told me, hey, you got a lot of potential. You're wasting your potential. So I started to go down the sober road, and it took me about 4.5 years to sober up. And I moved to LA, and I started acting and doing stand-up comedy. But I'd been studying nutrition as a model. I was sitting in Milan, and I started studying nutrition and herbs, internal purification. When I came back to the United States, I bought a juicer. I started juicing. I read about Gerson therapy, and I instantly felt the results. You look in the mirror, your skin looks better, you feel better, digestion's better. And then from there, I kept on studying nutrition and fitness and internal purification, especially herbs. And then I started working with an herbal company in the Amazon. I started working with indigenous Maori healers, and I started practicing Vipassana meditation. I sat 11 courses of meditation in silence, about 110 days in silence altogether. And that's what really kind of revolutionized my consciousness from being a party animal, and then just started getting more conscious and working with indigenous cultures, working in the Amazon. I started drinking ayahuasca in 2005. I had some pretty profound visions, and that's kind of, my trajectory of awakening. It was kind of falling on my face as an alcoholic, starting to meditate and really go internally in about 1999. And then evolving from there. So it's been a process, Jordan.
Yeah.
It's not like I just woke up one day, and then working in the Amazon, I really saw the way the world works. Halliburton and Bechtel get these government loans. The World Bank goes into third world countries. They give government loans, then they hire Bechtel and Halliburton and these corporations that come in there, build infrastructure, and then they ask for the money back. Hey, give us your money back. Oh, we don't have the money to pay you back. Okay, give us your natural resources, and we want it pulled out of the earth at a slave wage by your people. Oh, you don't like that idea? Okay, here's a coup d'etat. Okay, you don't like that idea? Here's some mercenaries or Blackwater, and then if you really don't like that idea, here's the American military, and this is what you get in Afghanistan, Iraq, Darfur, Ethiopia, Sudan, wherever there's crude oil, there's going to end up being strife or tungsten or any kind of precious metals that are required. So this is kind of the way of the world, and working in the Amazon and understanding the environment helped me realize kind of where we're at as a species, and it woke me up to how politics are ingrained, how the military-industrial complex keeps everything in place, and then you start further going down the road. I mean, my mind was blown with the WikiLeaks last year, and it started to make sense because I used to hear that George Bush was raped. That's why he could deal with the stuff that he was doing, the 9/11 and the Iraq War, et cetera, when he was in power. And somebody alluded to the fact that he was raped or traumatized as a child so that he could be controlled and manipulated. And I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, yeah, But later on, you start to hear this stuff come out with John Podesta and the Pizzagate, and you start going,
Kind of all makes sense, right?
Well, it definitely, it's worthy of investigation.
There you go.
Right?
Good way to put it.
And I like the way you keep everything, because you keep things in neutral terms, and it's open for some thought, some deep contemplative of thought. And where I'm at right now, because things just seem to be completely unraveling, and I continue to fall on my face, my own personal life, and emerge in self-development and personal, understanding, exploration of myself, is this whole idea of emergent, present moment reality. That's like the only thing I can bank on, that, I am here right now.
Right. And that's why I like this guy's stuff, is because he sees everything. He sees health for what it needs to be, and our health, humanity's health, but he sees how that connects to everything else, because it absolutely does. I mean, the chemtrails that go over us in the sky are directly related to the food we're putting in our mouth, directly related to the, things I talk about a lot, the deep state and the secret space programs and everything. It's all connected. It's all run by the same group of people that we're all trying to wipe off the face of this planet. So,
well, I like to keep, as much as I would like to bust out my M60 and start mowing people down in Washington, D.C. or whatever.
Molotov cocktails.
The bottom line is this is all about our evolution. I had 3 very profound visions in the Amazon in 2006, and they've been unfolding ever since. One was my family, and I wasn't married or in a relationship at the time. The other one was my certified health nut brand, and that's been evolving ever since, and it's had global success. And the third one is that humanity makes it. And remember, this was 2005, this was 2006, it was just not far off from 9/11. It was, the Iraq War was a few years in the making, and it didn't look, and Bush was in power, and it didn't look like things were going to get, any better anytime soon. And I heard a plane going over, and there was only one plane every 2 weeks coming from Brazil that would go over Peru. And one thought led to the next. I was laying in my hut, in the middle of the jungle, and I realized, what if that plane had bombs on it? And then I'm like, what do the people in Iraq deal with getting bombed like that? And then I was thinking about George Bush, and I was like, oh my God, everybody hates that guy. And then I realized that guy needs love, not hate. And so I realized that, it's really about love and gratitude, and not that I'm there every single moment of every day, but we are going through an evolution. I love how you touched on the Schumann resonance. That resonates with my heart. We are going through an evolution in human consciousness. We are evolving. And so I think, what's his name, Eckhart Tolle talks about it in his book, The New Earth. The plants evolved into flowers, the stones evolved into crystals, they say the dinosaurs evolved into birds, and that human beings are here to evolve into our next stage of evolution, and that is what's happening. And I see that crystallized because 30 years ago I started juicing. Now you can get a juice at one of 10 organic juice bars in walking distance of my house. Before, people were like, juicing, what is that? What are you doing? Why is that important? Now it's commonplace. So consciousness is evolving. People like Jordan are awakening at his age. I'm almost twice his age, or probably twice his age. And, to see young people awakening now, that tells me that we're right par on course for this evolutionary step that we're going through. And the machinations of what he covers in the government are just simply the unraveling of this evolution, the unraveling of the old paradigm, of the old system.
And it is absolutely unraveling faster and faster and faster. I get this question all the time, when's it going to break? When's it going to break?
I asked him that yesterday.
He just asked me that yesterday, and then a couple other people did. And I think it's only going to break as fast as we make it break. It's a lot of people are expecting disclosure to come from the top down, and you can't expect that. There's going to be no savior for you but yourself. And that really have to understand, but also, just like he said, we can't hate these people that are doing what they're doing. We got to understand that they're severely traumatized as well. All the politicians, the sick people that are doing what they do, they're traumatized. They need love just as much as anybody else does.
Well, we're all one, ultimately. And it's not just the trite concept, they just need love or whatever. Hey, here's newsflash, guys. Love yourself first. What does loving yourself mean? Cleaning your blood, eating nutritious foods, buying things that are good for the earth, etc., etc. And then you have something to give to someone else. Look, I'm not at the point where I can love every, military leader that drop bombs on innocent people and oil companies and Monsanto and agribusiness companies. But the fact of the matter is I can start to look for that in my heart, and I can start to find peace within myself. To me, that's the first step.
An interesting, crucial point I want to make, though, is just when you say loving someone, that doesn't mean that, I want him to get out of this country or do no harm but take no shit.
Right.
Is the crux of the matter here. And just because you love someone doesn't mean you don't want their ego to be broken and say...
Love often comes in the form of a swift kick in the ass.
There you go. Best way to love right there. And, you're a father, I'm a father. We see it with our children. We love them, but we don't grow up on their own. We want them to
fall on their face.
Fall on their face. Sometimes they need to fall on their face. Sometimes they need to get that swift kick in the ass to grow. And as much as it hurts us, because it's not fun to see them be in pain, we got to understand that they need it, and that's maturing all around.
If there is no growth, that's how the chicken is in the egg. It feels like it's suffocating, and then it cracks out, and it comes into a new life. Yeah. Same thing with the caterpillar and the butterfly, and that's what's happening. Look at my video I made on 2012. I launched it just before that Mayan date in 2012. This is the caterpillar and the butterfly, and we're being choked off with all this chemtrail nonsense and microwaves and 5G and chemicals everywhere, and we're evolving, guys. The Earth can't take much more of what we're doing. So tectonic plates geologically, historically move. So at the bare minimum, we'll scrap this experiment for the next experiment. But we are evolving no matter what. The question is do we want to evolve consciously? And my answer is yes.
Totally. It's pretty much that or not. So
it's ride or die right now, guys.
Absolutely. And here's one point as well. I mean, there is a lot of darkness on this planet, no doubt. But at the very same time, that's the pure law of polarity. If we didn't have all the nasty stuff going on, we wouldn't be able to understand what love or what true beauty is at the level that we can and we want to, you know?
Yeah, what is it? How do you know? In the Tibetan book of Living and Dying, it says, how do you know the heights of joy if you don't know the depths of pain? And
there you go.
And wherever there is light, there is darkness. But what we are reaching towards, because I think we're dealing with a lot of yang energy on the planet, is we're reaching more towards balance.
Totally. That return of the divine feminine energy, the return of caring, the return of nurturing, the return of those energies, and we have a lot of imbalanced males, imbalanced females too. I mean, everything, like you said, so yang.
I mean, try dating in Los Angeles, man. Women got their man pants on. And let me tell you, I'm not interested in dating anybody that's got their man pants on.
Anybody in a Hillary Clinton pantsuit is.
I mean, I get it. It's part of the energy, but somehow we can find, our own inner balance. But
totally.
I also like to say, to keep it in the positive, how do you wake up a human being? Oppress the living shit out of them like the concrete on the shoot of grass, right? So at least that's my working analogy philosophy. Otherwise, I'm a victim, you know what I'm saying? And I can't play the victim because that's a dead end road.
It is. Poor me. Oh,
no,
these elites are doing all this to us. Oh, I'm just going to go home and cry.
We're victorious. We are waking up. We are awakening right now. The world is ours. The light is coming onto the planet. We are evolving into the next stage of consciousness, which is going to be brotherly love. Absolutely. We're going to use technology as our whipping boy, not the other way around for enslavement. Gift economy, where brothers and sisters give their gifts from their heart. This will be the economy that we base things on. We'll have permaculture. Food is free. It is everywhere. Free energy is coming on the planet. Why? Because I say so. Just like the Wright brothers wanted to fly like an eagle and everybody told them they were absolutely out of their mind. Free energy is coming to this planet. You look at John Harriman or you listen to any Jordan stuff and Nikola Tesla. It's already been there. Cold fusion, zero-point technology. It's coming, guys. And self-care education. These are the primary concepts that I've come up with to take us from where we're at now to the next level. If people would just take care of themselves holistically, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, invest and vote with their dollars on things that are good for their bloodstream, then the earth would balance out itself.
As above, so below. If you just simply take care of yourself, that's going to manifest on a grand scale. People want to fix this world, but they don't want to actually put in the effort to fix themselves. But like he said, it's returning. And what's returning as well is responsibility. People actually taking responsibility for themselves, understanding, oh, no one's going to do this for me but me. No one's going to put people are getting that the only reason the powers that be are in power is because we let them. That's it, right? And that's tough for a lot of people to grasp, but that's the state of the matter. If we all just simply rose up at the same time and voiced what needs to be voiced, then, well...
or just really looked into yourself and started being honest with yourself and look at all the judgments and anger and resentment that I have about other, and how can I forgive that and find peace in my heart? I mean, people get caught up in this whole religious stuff, but what did Jesus taught? Jesus taught just simply the golden rule, which is love, and you got to apply that golden rule to yourself first. And look, guys, I'm not trying to get on my soapbox and tell people what to do. I'm in the process of doing this for myself, and it's not easy, guys. It's not easy at all. I fall on my face all the time, and I've got a family, I got to run businesses, I'm living in the matrix, I'm a domesticated human, and I still get to navigate the terrain to help pull myself out of the matrix, to call forth the next stage in evolution, to call forth the next stage in, we need to change all systems on this planet. Education, rotten to the core. Commerce, crony capitalism. People think we live in a capitalistic world. We live in a crony capitalism, which is socialism. We live in predatory capitalism. We bail out the banks. The Fed stuffed $3 trillion worth of paper since 2007 into the Fed. That makes your dollars worthless, figuratively and literally. And so things just need to change. And change always, change is the only constant in the universe. My meditation teacher used to tell me about. So, that's a little oxymoronic or counterintuitive, but that's the reality. And so envision the future that you want to see in the world. Don't just let's spend time on all the deep state. The deep state's it's rotten to the core. It's going to fall away to the wayside anyhow. The question is what are you going to emerge after that? What are you going to contribute? What is your gift in the gift economy? What do you have to offer humanity and the world, your family, your community? What do you have? What's in your heart? What's the song that you want to sing in your heart? Ask yourself the deeper questions. Where am I being dishonest? Where am I being the government? Where am I, colluding against people? Where am I cheating, lying, stealing, et cetera, et cetera? So this is just a clarion call to the heart and soul of man to evolve and not wait for any external forces to evolve you. As Jordan always alludes to, the Schumann resonance and these coronal mass ejections, those things are going to elevate or joscillate your vibratory range anyhow. And so the question is do you want to hold on to your old thoughts, or do you want to let that joscillation ring a new bell and awaken to a higher level of consciousness?
I always think, if we had mass telepathy, right, which is possible, which we're going to, what if everybody could see your thoughts at all times? What if there was no hiding, none of it, complete transparency?
No malice in your heart.
No malice. Could you handle it, right? Would your friends and family be able to handle you? Would they even want you around if that were possible? Because everybody's asking for full transparency from our government, but they can't even live their own lives in full transparency. So why do we deserve transparency from our government if we can't do that ourselves? It's not black, don't worry.
You want transparency? Rip off your clothes and get in front of the mirror. Who are you? What are you made of? What do you want in your life? What are you here to do? What are you here to create? Get real. Get naked. Look yourself in the eye. Is this the body that you want? That's the temple of God right there.
Your conduit, your meat suit. Your body that you utilize to connect your DNA, your pineal gland to the all, to the one.
And your brain's only as good as the blood it's sitting in.
Exactly.
So if you're mainlining garbage or glyphosate or GMOs...
That's why your blood cells look like this. Taurus. It's a conduit of life force, and it's bringing that life force to your nervous system to feed it. So if your blood is poisoned and you have a bunch of toxins flowing around in your bloodstream getting into your nervous system, well...
Yeah, do a 10-day cleanse with me, guys. I'll whip you right into shape, man.
He will.
I got a commercial 10-day cleanse. We'll deliver it straight to your door. It's about $20 a day. We'll clean you up in 10 days. You'll be a new spring chicken, and then we can have a new conversation. And again, guys, I just wanted to say, I'm not trying, if I'm coming off, I'm extremely passionate. I'm not trying to come talking above people. You guys are all my brothers and sisters out there. And so, we're all in the same boat. We're all in it together. That's why it's not about troycasey and certified health nut and look at me and I'm 50 years old and I look great and look at my Instagram and I'm perfect. No, I fall on my face all the time. I'm going through a separation right now. I'm discovering, my own abilities as a father, as a businessman. I live in this world just like you guys. I'm going through my own stuff. But again, this is just a clarion call for us to go deeper. And there is no other. We are all one or none, as Rabbi Hillel used to teach Jesus, and I'm not a religious Bible thumper either. And so, we're all one. We're all connected. We're all here to lift each other up, and that's where we're at. And I really applaud Jordan and all his followers out there and watch his stuff. Jordan's like one of the only persons that I follow on the internet, and I follow him religiously because I want to know about all the Q stuff too.
He told me that last night. I was like, no way, no, because I know you're a busy man. For you to actually spend time on YouTube, that's big.
Well, sometimes you got to unplug and try to stop masterminding the world and
try to find out what the heck's really going on. So that's why you need to go to YouTube. They won't tell you on CNN, will they? Man.
Well, it's all my entertainment. I get a little bit of CNN too, just to juxtapose it.
Got to see what the enemy's saying.
Yeah, isn't that the way to use thought? Look at the positive, look at the negative, and then use your intuition or your innate ability to understand truth within yourself.
That. You heard it. So, well, hey, man.
How many people we got on there? Are there any
500?
Are there any good questions? Anyways.
How do you choose yourself?
How do you choose yourself?
Get naked in front of the mirror.
Jump in a cold shower. Do some breath of fire.
I can feel the choosing.
Don't convince your friends, just convince yourself.
Seriously.
Do some deep breathing and jump in a cold shower and know that you are alive.
Because when your friends see you completely relaxed, completely at peace,
they'll want to know
with what you believe and with where you're at, they'll want to know. Exactly. So you don't try to convince them, that you can only lead a horse as far as it wants to go. You can only lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it.
It's funny you say that because I watch some of my friends are internet marketers, and I watch a lot of these guys that half read a book or take a seminar and they start teaching it, and they've got good marketing. Everybody's marketing everyone on the internet, and they're trying to teach and tell people things. And I realized, first of all, I can't compete with that, and so there's definitely people that are much smarter than me, out there on the internet, but I can only lead by example. That's the only thing that I really can do. And so, and I like to share some of my tough moments as well, because to let people know that I'm human, because social media is designed to make you depressed because somebody looks better than you, on the internet or social media. And so I believe that we are moving in the next phase of our development is the age of authenticity. The information age is over with, guys. Every book is on Google. It's all printed out. I postulate we are moving into the age of authenticity, the age of implementation. It's no longer a concept or an idea that's out there in the idea sphere on the internet. You have to be able to apply it. Does it resonate with your innate intelligence, your intuition? Does it inspire you to take action, then apply it, and then what shows up in my biology, my neurology, my psychology, my philosophy because of what I tried?
That's the exact reason I don't really edit much of anything on this channel. Most of the videos I do are either live streamed or I just film them in one take and post them because I understand it's about authenticity. I'm not looking for the high production value, or I'm not, I have facts in my brain, but I'm not looking to be a million miles ahead of everybody else. I'm just looking to give back what I can, but also give myself out there, because people will see that and they'll say, oh, then I can be authentic too. I don't have to be somebody I'm not, like all these other people on social media that are people that they're not. So,
or reality TV. So we're in LA right now, and we've dealt with scripted TV up until 20 years ago when I moved here. It moved into reality TV. Reality TV is now 65% of television. And if you know anything about reality TV, it's not reality. It's heavily scripted, heavily edited, coiffed, perfected into this package of ideology or propaganda that they want you to see. And then reality television on steroids is called YouTube. And this is part of the age of authenticity. And Hollywood's waking up to this, and they hate it because you can't control it. It's anarchistic in nature.
Poor Hollywood, right?
Woo-hoo! You can get the cleanse. I would just you can email me at troycasey333@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Certified Health Nut, or Troy Casey. I'm doing a group cleanse next week. If you guys want to jump in on that, just tag me, send me a message, and I'll communicate with you there. You can email me, Instagram, Facebook, and then I've got $50 coupon for anybody that wants to jump in on the group cleanse next week.
I'll throw all that in the fancy little description box.
I mean, mercury poison's a little bit deep. I mean, I work with a green juice cleanse, and so greens are natural detoxifiers. I would add some, cracked chlorella and some fulvic zeolite, which is also on my product line. That will help with that, but mercury poisoning is systematic, so you want to be living a holistic lifestyle and a detoxification lifestyle regularly. You want to be ingesting green juices and green superfoods religiously to naturally detoxify. You don't want to put yourself through a Herxheimer reaction and get really sick and then cause other problems. So live a detoxification lifestyle. Humic and fulvic acids are good for detoxification of mercury. Fulvic zeolite is good for that. Some clays, cracked chlorella, spirulina. Again, email me at troycasey333@gmail.com and I'll hook you up.
Someone asked if there's anything to cleanse your lungs with. I say cordyceps. I'm a big fan of cordyceps. Any other questions on there?
Cordyceps are excellent.
Yeah, I love my mushrooms. We're entering an ice age. That's what they say. They say
the
that
global solar minimum.
Yeah, the sun's actually, the magnetic field of the sun is weakening. The magnetic field of the earth is weakening.
Here's a newsflash, guys. It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. We're destroying the illusion here on Destroying the Illusion.
That's why I love this guy. He's so intense. Like you said earlier, passion. You're an intense guy. That's what we need. We need that kind of intensity because everybody just has apathy.
We need
so
our
apathetic.
balls.
They don't give a shit. They don't have the balls.
If you want to find the balls, remember, get into the breathing.
Who said that? Breathe into your balls.
Breathe
Breathe
into your balls.
into your nutsack.
That'll wake you up. Hold your breath. After about 30 inhales. You can watch my friend Crone Gracie. He's into the breath as well.
Yeah. Well, what's going on is that, back to the Ice Age question, Antarctica is going to melt. Antarctica is already melting. And what that's going to do is not only expose all the pyramids and UFOs under the ice there, what it's going to do is bring all that cool water into the water streams around the planet and
shut
then
the belts down.
and shut the belts down. So we're going to then go into a cooling phase. So yeah, okay, you can say the globe's warming now, but it's all a part of a large process where it'll temporarily warm or change, and then
What was
go
the
into a
name of the
cooling
movie
phase.
that covered that?
A mainstream one? Or
Yeah, it was a
Inconvenient Truth.
No, it was a feature film, and it was all about the weather, and then it happened. It happened basically overnight. This one scientist was in the White House, and he was trying to say, and the politicians.
Was that Geostorm? That was the recent one about.
It was probably
like,
about 10 or
chemtrailing.
11 years ago, and the belt
I
shut
don't know.
down, and then everybody, instead of all the Mexicans trying to come up here, all the Americans were
Tried to go
going
down
down there. It was funny. Somebody in the notes.
That's why he's building a wall to keep us all in.
So, yeah. Anyway, someone in the notes, put it in the notes if you remember that movie. It was about the belt shutting down.
Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that was.
Day After Tomorrow, there
I
we
think
go.
It was. That's right.
These commenters are helpful.
You guys are awesome.
I'm gonna get back to doing my live streams, my news video live streams, because the commenters actually help.
Hit me up on social media, guys. Up on Instagram, Certified Health Nut, Troy Casey on Facebook, and love to chat to people.
Last few questions. We're gonna take a few more and then we'll sign off.
Low budget.
Fast.
Yeah, dry fast.
Dry fast.
There you go.
That's about as low budget as you can get, right?
Water fast, dry fast.
There you go.
Dry fast, I'd research it to the bone first. Don't take my word for it. And water fasts are tough, but research it first. But yeah, water fasting.
Water fast with just chlorella.
But here's the thing with organic. Yeah, there you go. Chlorella's good too. So here's the thing with budget, guys. Either pay the farmer or pay the doctor. Pay now or pay later. It's your choice. Don't skimp or move to a farm.
Yeah, after we left Arrowwind last night, we got into an Uber and there was a woman already in the Uber and she was complaining up the ass. She goes, "Oh, that place. LAPD. Incoming." What if they landed on the beach right here? How cool would that be? Right over our heads. Anyway, there was a woman and she was complaining to no end how expensive the food was. And I was just saying, well, what else do you spend your money on? What else do people spend their money on? Purses and always come back around.
I look at my credit card bills and it is 90+% organic food.
There you go. I mean, wave. No. He yeah. We'll talk about that in the next one. Things are crazy.
Things are getting weird.
Things are getting weird out there.
Things are getting weird.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, there's another commercial cultural conundrum.
I know. Hallmark holiday.
What about all the other 364 days of the year? So,
there's a point that I was going to make, but it totally spaced. Anyway.
What were we talking about?
Oh, I totally forget that. A helicopter distracted me. Detoxing on
Oh yeah,
on a
pay
budget.
pay the farmer, pay the doctor. It's your choice. You know, I'm working on this film on glyphosate right now, which is the chemical constituent in Roundup Ready, Monsanto's herbicide. It has 3 patents, so it's not just getting sprayed on the GMOs, it's getting sprayed on wheat, and they think that's where the celiacs is coming from. It's getting sprayed on oats. Cheerios has announced, hey, we're GMO free, but they're loaded with glyphosate because we tested it. I'm working with Food Democracy Now, and we tested it. And there's a big paper on fooddemocracynow.org if you want to download it about the foods that have heavy loads of glyphosate, 1,000 parts per billion over what the government allows it, and those government numbers are off anyways. We've got papers, internal memos from Monsanto, etc. So the food's being poisoned, guys. You've heard it a million times. So you either buy farmer direct or you buy it from trusted sources like the greens that I have, or the farmers market direct, or places like Air One where Jordan and I were last night. There are good sources for nutritious food. Just look at healthy people, really healthy people, and you'll find good sources of nutrition, and pay for it, because otherwise you're going to pay for it in pain. You're going to pay for it with doctor bills or being out of work.
You're going to be tired, you're going to have headaches, your metabolism's going to suffer. Everybody always asks me, what's good food? Or where, I already asked them for find the good food, and they tell me, oh, there's an Applebee's, or there's these great restaurants. You know, define good. What is good food to you?
Organic, biodynamic, pesticide and herbicide free. Biodynamic's the highest standard. If you can get Oregon Tilth certification organic or quality assurance organic, those are higher certifications than USDA. If you can't get anything else, the USDA organic stamp is better. You know, people get caught up in the organic moniker. The fact of the matter, you need high quality, nutritious food, grass-fed, animals. Animals are supposed to eat grass. They're not supposed to eat GMO corn. And so eating high quality food, sourcing high quality food. Watch my video. I just did a video a couple months ago on nutrition. It's about 25 minutes. I knock it out of the park. I go on every level, dispel all the myths. And here's a news flash for you too as well, guys. You can't outrun a bad diet, or you can't outrun a low quality diet. Packaged food is another thing that you should try and avoid. Fruits and vegetables. Most fruits have been hybrided, so I'd keep the fruits on a down low as well, and just eat mainly organic vegetables and high quality grass-fed meats, pasture-raised eggs. If you have to use dairy, source raw milk, raw cheese. Excuse me while I cough out my chemtrails.
When I walk into Safeways and Albertsons and things like that, I get headaches. I seriously do. I just can't. It hurts me to go into those stores because you see 99% of stuff is just all petroleum based and plastic packaging with glyphosate and genetically engineered ingredients in there. And speaking of glyphosate, at extremely minute levels, we're talking parts per million, just a couple parts per million, they can have DNA damaging effects. So,
and it kills it's designed to kill the schematic pathway of plants, which knocks out its immune system and its ability to fight pathogens. So the pathogens end up killing the plants. Well, what do you think it does to the human body? The microbes that are living in your gut, it kills the schematic pathway of them. So it kills your gut microbiome. Hammers your gut. Anybody ever seen a distended stomach? If you're looking down and you're saying, oh, that's me, well, that's probably because you have dysbiosis in there. There's all sorts of critters, parasites, and fungus that's in there, and that's related to what you're shoving in the pie hole. So clean out the gut, do the cleanse with me, and then clean up the diet, and then you'll be fine. You'll have a flat stomach forever.
Totally. And yeah, I saw a comment. Somebody said, well, then you can't eat anything. That's not true at all. There's plenty of stuff you can eat out there, but I mean,
you saw me eat last night, right?
We were both stuffing our face, man. And it costs a little bit more, totally, but do you value yourself? Do you need to spend, thousands of dollars on tech goods and clothes and what? I basically couch surfed half this vacation. You can make deals and cut the money where it doesn't matter and put it into where it does matter, yourself.
It does matter.
And, it's just this look at reality. Okay, if 99% of food out there isn't actually food and it's poison, shouldn't that make you a little pissed off? Don't say, don't go like an ostrich and put your head in the sand and then lie to yourself and eat all this bad stuff that isn't even food.
Yeah, everything's poison.
Look at it for what it is. Look at it for reality. Live in reality. Don't run away from it. So, okay, I'm then not going to make the conscious decision to spend my money on all this crap food. I'm going to make the effort to maybe drive an extra mile or two to a different store, shop at find where I can shop and shop there. Then 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a local farmer's market anyway, with keeping your money where, not to a large corporation, keeping it in
supporting small farms.
Yeah, keeping it in the community.
Supporting farmers. And it's about nutritional value, it's about vibration. So if I eat low, I can't go into commercial store and eat commercial food or a commercial restaurant. I can't do it. It's against my religion. I can't give my money to it. And time is money. We've all heard that, right? So if I feel like shit after eating shit, first of all, who do I got to blame? Myself. Second of all, that's going to cost me time and money. And if I wake up the next morning and I'm puffy, if I've got inflammation in my face, if I'm constipated, I'm of no use to anything or anyone. My Ferrari has to run smoothly, or it's going to be in the shop. And I don't want it in the shop. It does much better when it's living fully and my mind's clear. Then I have the more ability to make more money, to attract good people into my life
Exactly. That's a really good point right there. When you're feeling better, then you're just going to perform better. I don't skimp on really any of the food I buy at all. Even when I was broke, even when I just started this YouTube channel and I was broke as a joke, I was still buying organic food for myself and my son, because I knew that, well, if my brain's going to work better, I'm going to have a much better chance of making something with this channel, or being successful. So that's the way I like to look at it. I'm going to perform better if I'm choosing better food, and that will pay off someday. Whether it's tomorrow, whether it's years down the road, it's going to pay off.
Well, I mean, I've been juicing for almost 30 years, and it totally shows up in my biology. Somebody asked how old I am. I'm 52 years old. A big part of my marketing and my brand, and what I'm trying to lead by example is not everybody looks like me at 50, but this is what you do. And I haven't lived a perfect life and an austere life, but I've done some reverse damage. I've learned how to do fasting. I've learned how to do juice cleansing. I've learned how to utilize herbs. And for the last at least about 12 years, I've been eating an organic diet when it means the most to it. Before 1997, that's when GMOs came online. That's when glyphosate really started getting used ubiquitously in farming. And so before then, or even my great-grandparents, they used to just call organic food fucking food.
Right.
So yeah, does it show up in your biology? Do you what you feed your cells affects you for the next 7 years. Your cells are constantly replicating, and so it makes a huge difference what you feed the body, and it ultimately it does show up. I learned about fasting and juice cleansing because I was a model. My career was based on my looks and how I looked and felt in front of the camera. So when I partied too much, or I felt like crap, or I was bloating, I used to have digestive issues. I didn't know about nutrition back then. I was gluten intolerant, pasteurized milk intolerant. Everybody's pasteurized milk intolerant, basically. But the fact of the matter is, some people can digest it better. But anyhow, I would look in the mirror, I'd gain some weight. The agents would be like, "Oh, honey, you're fat." And so, and I would usually just be bloat. And I'd do a cleanse a couple of times a year. I'd look amazing. I'd feel amazing. You'd look in the mirror, my eyes were clear. And so the proof was in the pudding. So I've been hooked ever since. That was like 27, 28 years ago. And sure enough, it's showing up in my biology today.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a job at a health food store that I basically dropped out of college for when I was about 22. And so I started really young. And I was forced into it, or I kind of forced myself into it. And at this health food store, that's where I was learning about juicing and the Gerson therapy and digestive function and just how everything is supposed to work. So stories are pretty similar. I was definitely a drinker and a partier in college, though. And
yeah, we all were. I mean, it's you fall on your face to understand where your limitation is. Somebody asked, with 11 billion people on the planet, I thought it was 7, but I heard the Indians and the Chinese can't count.
There's probably a few underground. Who knows what civilizations are down there?
So with 11 billion people on the planet,
Yeah.
That's a joke. Joke, guys. I did stand up for years. I can get away with it. So with 11 billion people on the planet, how can everyone eat organic? Just think about yourself, because that's the only thing you can really take responsibility for right now, and start supporting organic farms. It's now more lucrative to grow organic, and when there's more people purchasing organic food, it will become the norm. Real food will become the norm, and then once it's the norm, we don't have to manage people that are poisoning the food. We don't have to question that. And so take care of yourself first. Take care of your own bloodstream first. Put the oxygen mask on your face before you help the child, right? When the plane's going down, put the oxygen on your face. Otherwise, you're going to be useless. So if you're awake and you're awake enough to destroy the illusion, then put the organic food into your body. Start moving in that direction. You don't have to be perfect today, but start moving the consciousness off the Cheetos, off the Diet Cokes, off the McDonald's or any other kind of processed foods, and start moving in towards farmers markets, community-supported agriculture boxes. You can get a CSA box delivered straight to your door for like $25-30 with a whole mix of local grown, organic food. So just look into it. Don't play the victim, guys. Don't play the victim. It's a trap.
imagine if we started all buying organic and demanding it. then how many hundreds of millions of acres would they stop using to grow corn for high fructose corn syrup and actually use for real food? So it's complete bullshit that we can't feed all the people of the planet with what we have. We absolutely can. And there's technologies out there that can help with that as well. Permaculture and vertical farming, things like that. So
The solutions are here. We are the problem, therefore we are the solutions. The problems are universal, the solutions are universal. We just simply tap into the idea sphere of God, the thought, consciousness, pull it right down to earth like Bach, Beethoven, Da Vinci, Copernicus. You pull these ideas right in, you crystallize them through thought, word, action, manifest in the flesh, baby. We're creating the reality. There are no victims.
no victims. Except the children. Those are the only ones that are victims. Because they can't choose.
Yeah, but they chose their soul path to come down here when they were in the spirit world.
That is... There you go. They chose their parents.
They wanted the ride, baby. And the sum total of their childhood is going to awaken them to the contract that they contracted for. I mean, I ended up on the street as a kid. I mean, if I play the victim, that's just a dead-end road. I'd rather be like, wow, that colored my palette for my own emotional shortcomings, that colored my palette again and again and again to awaken me to the person I am today. So, just like they say in the Vedic scriptures, it's God waking up to the big cosmic joke. God taking the red pill packed with LSD and going, wow, I forgot I took the red pill. And I'm waking up.
All right. I think that's all for this one, folks. We're going to head out. Thank you all for joining us for this talk, this beach philosophy. A lot of ranting went on in this video, but good ranting, good points. So thank you all for joining us.
Thanks, Jordan. Jordan's awesome. We love Jordan. He's awesome. He's doing great work.
Go
support his work.
Thank you for joining me, Troy. And again, I'll put all of his contact information below in this video. I'll put his email and his social media accounts so you can go follow him on all of those. So take care, guys.
Awesome.
That's all for this one.